Now, Natsu and the gang had successfully trapped the water god dragon, but now they actually head to their new target, Uldron, the wood god dragon. In order to find him, they actually had to head to the largest city of the continent of Giltena, but first they actually had to go to the town of Tekka to ride the train, which Natsu and Wendy can't actually ride it because of their motion sickness, but they don't actually have a choice, as Gray actually claims that it's only 8 hours to be there, which it only meant that they actually have 3 hours till they to take off, in which they actually going to find a restaurant. But then all the people are looking at them like they're celebrities. In which one person walked up to Ursa and actually said that she is actually Eris, and she doesn't actually know who that person is, nor she actually is that person. In which everybody actually all crowded up at her because she's actually this person, Chris, at which the another person who looks exactly like Ursa actually say that that person is Ursa, which they actually is shocked to see another Ursa, in which this person actually took them to her guild, which is called Fairy Nail, and that's actually similar to Fairy Tale, in which is actually a celebrity guild, where which actually is the guild for the stars. In other words, it's actually a guild where wide, wide range wide range area for successful celebrities, as well as singers, models, and of course actors who can actually find work in the guild. Well, incredibly, there were actually two Ursas, which one is from Fairy Tale and one is from Fairy Nail, which is called Urquis, which we actually see that the two are actually identical, just like the other parts of the alternate version of Fairy Tale, in which we seen a identical person of Natsu, which we actually see that Urquis actually say that that's actually next their biggest star, in which he actually say manager Wang is like German, in which the identical person of Lucy is Nux manager, which is actually her real name is Luca, in which Nux is actually got all set with Luca for actually messing up everything, in which he actually is, well, is really messed up, is like the opposite of Natsu. And then we see the identical actor of Gray, which is Glenn, and he is actually I don't want to actually say it because it's, well, kind of like a the blank actor, in which he can actually did exactly like Gray, but it's actually pretty undecent. I mean, very decent actually. And then we see the identical actress of Julia, which is actually Juvina, which is the actress who actually in love with Glenn, in which they are actually the same thing. And also the identical actress of Wendy is Windrill, and she is actually a child prodigy, in which she actually show many emotions of her acting career, which she actually can change emotions in half a second, in which we actually seen the actor and actually the actress and actor of Happy and Charlotte and Carla, and which actually is Charlotte, Carla's actress, and Bobby, Happy's actor, which is actually a regular cat. And then we see Bambi, the black cat, which is actually identical of Lily. Then we actually see Godsil and Lizzie, the actor and actress of Gajil and Levy, who are actually married couple in a stand-up comedy routine, which they are like them. Then we see the actresses of Mira Jane and Lasana, which their names are Mina J and Liz who are models. And then we see the identical makeup artist of Elfman, which his name is Elfman, which I don't want to actually say it. And then we see the rock band Lucris and the Lightning King people, which are the musicians of Loxus and the Thunder Legion. And also we see Kara, the foot model, which is the actress of Kana, and then Loki, the don't want to actually say it, who is actually the actor of Loki, the celestial spirit, which they are very similar to Mimilas. Indulas, which that's the alternate version of them. And then Urkris is actually a stage actress, which she almost popular, but she's still actually having trouble getting into her character, in which is actually what Ursa has actually done over the few chapters, in which she is still wanted to do a role which is a romantic love part. But then we still actually seen Next actually being cruel to Luca, which Lucy actually doesn't take any bullies, which we actually going to, seen a lot of actors on that guild. So we're actually going to have a good experience of seeing that. But they actually made it to the trade station where they actually remember the great experience that they actually have. And then Gray actually wonder what Julia is doing right now because he's still actually in love with her. In which we actually see that Ursa was actually Urkris after the train has begun moving, in which she actually has traded places with Ursa because she actually is doing her role on a stage, which everybody actually is upset of how the way she was actually acting, in which she's actually, wasn't very good at stage acting. Now, we actually seen the two identical versions of Fairy Tale. First, we have Fairy Tale, a wizard guild. Then, the identical version of Fairy Tale called Fairy Nail, a celebrity guild. So, we actually knew how the two of them actually are identical to each other. So, I'm actually loving this chapter. So, we're actually going to see what they're going to do on the next chapter next weekend. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment what you think about the manga chapter. You guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and like my Facebook page. Until then, this is Anime Guy Jordan here saying sign out. Laters!